They say anything can happen on Wrestle Lost.
Welcome to Wrestle Lost, folks.
Oh, yes, she's the dead here. It's the Wrestle Lost Derby cast.
The sniper.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wrestle Lost. We got a couple of key things we want to talk about, but to get us started, like always, here's Tony.
First off, we lost two wrestlers this week. We want to remember and memorialize. First one is happened early in the week. It was Ole Anderson. He was 81 years old. He wrestled a little before my time as a wrestling fan. He was back in the territory days in Jim Crockett Promotions and Georgia Championship Wrestling, and then later on he worked in the backstage of WCW in the early days. He retired from WCW in 1996. And he was also one of the original members of the Four Horsemen, along with Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, no relation, Tully Blanchard, and J.J. Dillon. So rest in peace to Ole Anderson.
Yeah, whenever I heard about it, I'm much like you on this one. It was a little bit before my time, but I knew some stuff about him, and I knew he was one of the original members of the Four Horsemen. And yeah, just because it was a little bit before our time doesn't mean we didn't know about him. Because just by watching and going back and forth, you come across these sort of people.
Yeah, because I had always heard his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sad that we lost two of them this week, but yeah, it's never a fun week when this happens.
So the other one is who? Mike Jones, bitch.
I was like, where are you going with this?
Yeah, Mike Jones, who the original Mike Jones, by the way, who was Virgil in WWF. He started out as Ted DiBiase's. I guess did everything for him: his butler, valet, bodyguard, whatever he had him do, until Virgil turned on him. Interesting. Do you know how Virgil got his name?
I remember hearing about it a while back.
Okay. So at the time that he started wrestling in WWF, Dusty Rhodes was doing the booking in WCW, and petty ass Vince. Yeah. Well, Dusty's real name was Virgil, so he called him Virgil. And to the same extent, whenever Mike Jones went over to WCW, they gave him the name Vincent.
Which I was going to bring up if you didn't, but...
Okay. And if you've seen the movie The Wrestler, he was also the guy who Mickey Rourke's character wrestled at the end of the movie.
Yeah. I definitely remember more things about Virgil because he was more around our time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that whenever I heard that he passed away, it made me a little bit even more sad. Not just because of him passing away, but because in a way, with some of the stuff going on this week, it's like our childhood is fading away even more whenever this sort of thing happens. And with not only with that, because I've been speaking to some people on Twitter these last couple of days, retirements, whenever those happen as well, it just makes you think about everything you've seen And yeah, it just makes you feel sad that not only the person is gone, but in a way, the stuff you remember as a child is
Yeah.
fading away with them. You know. And then there's, like we discussed, the video that Johnny sent me right before we started going live. It's just a wave of sadness here at the start.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Jon Stewart remembering his dog that he had for 13 years
Yeah.
on the Daily Show. So go check that out. It made me sad too.
R.I.P. Dipper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely sending out our condolences. And yeah, I know we've said it before, whenever things like this happen, it comes in a wave of 3. But luckily this time it did not. At least not yet.
And Virgil, he was only 61 years old, but I had heard that in recent years he had early onset dementia,
Yeah.
and most likely from all the years of wrestling. But go seek out. There's a recent interview that Sean Ross Sapp did with him a couple years ago. It was deemed as his worst interview that he ever did.
Yeah.
Not worse and bad, but worse and like funny. Like there's one
Yeah.
moment where he Virgil said that him and Joey Janela could sell out the garden. He meant the Olive Garden. Towards the end, he was actually really good friends with Joey Janela.
Yeah, and just the sense of humor that came across with him in different interviews, and just by going back and forth with like Sean and some of the other stories he's put out there. Did you hear about the message that Virgil sent Sean? And he had no idea what Virgil meant by it.
I don't think so.
Okay, so one of the, I wouldn't say one of the last messages Virgil sent him, but it was one that he sent them after that interview.
Yeah.
He just sent Sean a message that said, "Let's crank." And Sean's like, "I don't know what you mean by this." What do you mean, let's crank? He never asked him, as far as I know, but
yeah,
just his sense of humor would come across, and you can tell he was a serious guy when it needed for him to be serious, but you can tell that he had a funny side to him. So
yeah,
that's a lot of the stuff I'll remember about him as well. It's just being a hilarious ass dude. So
all right. Well, there's no easy way to move on from that.
no.
But there, right now, and in early 2024, we've mentioned this is going to be the year of contracts, and right now there's a lot of comings and goings out there. If you watch NXT, which I still don't, but Shawn Spears made his return to WWE, not as Ty Dillinger, but as Shawn Spears.
Yeah.
And he had been a part of some vignettes that they've been playing recently, and he attacked Ridge Holland.
So I like this move. Like, we knew he was coming to WWE as soon as he left AEW. But for him to come back, not as Ty Dillinger, but as Shawn Spears, I'm gonna have to keep up with it now that he's back.
Yeah,
because
me too.
I really liked him as Ty Dillinger. He was very entertaining. And then with his serious attitude that he had in AEW, being the chairman, and him bringing that character with him. I know it was only his return, but it has a lot of people real excited about what he's going to do down in NXT. And yeah, that's just another thing I'm going to have to add to the list for me to search up and watch videos of during the week, because I can't watch all the wrestling in the world, like we've said before.
Yeah.
But it'll just be another thing for me to add to the list to search out videos and follow up on as the weeks go on.
This past week on Dynamite, Will Ospreay was officially announced as All Elite. He went out there in a green jumpsuit, saying that his luggage had been lost. But he said he found it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know with the green jumpsuit though.
Here's what I'm going to say about that, because this is what I told you, like after Wednesday when he showed back up, when he showed up on AEW officially All Elite. So supposedly Delta lost his bags, and they said they found them, but what was that green jumpsuit though? It makes me think they didn't find them, and they just had to scramble and get him into something that looked decent. But I just didn't. It did. I don't feel like it fits his character, that green jumpsuit.
Like I told Freddie a few weeks ago when CM Punk and Cody had that promo, and CM Punk said that he was just wearing the clothes that he wore to the gym. This is kind of like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. But I don't know. If that was his green jumpsuit, I apologize for saying it doesn't look as good. I don't know. Just like a green jumpsuit, just for me, doesn't feel like it fits him, because I've seen him dress up in other stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like, this just doesn't feel like Will Ospreay. So, fuck you, Delta, for losing his bags and for making him look a bit of a fool on TV.
And he was having a good after his last match in New Japan. Him and B Priestley spent like 10 days in Barbados. So
yeah, just living up life, man.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at him. Enjoy your shit. You're All Elite now, bro.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what he does on a weekly basis, because that is someone you want on TV every single week, at least for the time being.
Yeah.
So hell yeah, man! I'm excited to see what they do with him and how
we could have possibly have 3 weeks in a row of debuts, because Tony Khan once again has announced that he had said he's going to have an announcement next week, and a lot of people are saying now that next week is on the 6th is when Okada is going to debut, not the following Wednesday.
Yeah,
the following Wednesday, the big business in Boston. That's when Mercedes is going to debut. But next week it's supposed to be Okada.
3 weeks in a row, bro.
Yeah.
Of someone else being added to the roster.
Yeah.
Hell yes. Especially 3 big names.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what Okada is going to do.
Yeah. I mean, look, there was really nothing set up for Will Ospreay yet. So you bring in Okada next week. Let's say that's what happens. And I would have Will show up and just be like, why are you following in my footsteps? I am the big debut. I am the one who they showed last week. You're trying to come in here and take my spotlight. And you set up Ospreay Okada.
Yeah. Well, I think that first Will Ospreay he got to break up with the Callis family first.
Well, yeah,
Gotta do that story, which I think is going to start tomorrow.
yeah, but that's just a thought from me. That's my own booking I would do if I had the chance, which I don't. So
Yeah.
that's just what I would do, though. But hey, I'm excited, man. 3 weeks in a row. I'm digging this shit.
So over to WWE, it's been reported that Tama Tonga has signed with WWE. And Tama Tonga finished up his last match along with Osprey and Okada in Sapporo a couple weeks ago. And a lot of people are saying that he could go into this the Bloodline story. He could be a new member. He's not blood related, but his dad is Haku or Meng for you WCW marks. Uh, and The Rock considers Haku. He calls him Uncle Tonga. Haku is really close to the Anawahi and Fatu family. So yeah, there's that connection there that he could be going to the Bloodline story.
I would be down for that. There's many different stories you can tell with Tamatanga, but this is the one that's kind of like easy to tell if you want to ease him in. But I don't know if you want to bring someone like him in to the bloodline when it's possibly going to implode very soon.
Yeah,
At least that's what we're hoping, because Cody has to finish his story, you know?
right. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited that he's signed to WWE.
Yeah,
I just
I'm
don't know which
too.
way you want to bring him in.
I hope, just like Sean Spears, I hope he gets to keep the same name.
I think they would,
Yeah,
you know, because I think he's made a big enough name for himself
yeah,
to where they would keep that name. So yeah, man. Don't know exactly how you bring him in, but I just another thing I'm excited for in WWE.
yeah. Lots of things happening right now.
Hell yes.
Also, in back to AEW, starting this Wednesday, and Dynamite's going to have a new logo. I don't know if you've seen it.
I don't think I have.
Okay, the lettering. Well, the AEW is going to get the like different coloring for the letters, and Dynamite's going to have a different. It almost looks like the Fight Forever font.
Okay.
You would have to look it up.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
It's gonna have to grow on me.
yeah,
I really like the first. Who's not gonna like the first logo? You know,
yeah,
that's what set the company during the start. It's gonna. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just from what I'm seeing, at least they kept the layout the same.
yeah.
But the letters, yeah, they're gonna have to grow on me. It looks a little weird to me, but that's just because it's new. But I'm pretty sure it'll grow on me. That just means I'm just gonna have to buy new merch since it's gonna have the new lettering on it. Maybe I should have waited. Maybe I bought something earlier today that I should have waited. But I don't think the logo is one on the thing I bought. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to buy new stuff, man. That's all that means.
Okay, well, that's all the news I have, but I think there's something that Freddie wants to talk about.
Yeah, just real quick. By now a lot of people have heard of what's been going on with Maxine Dupree. She has been working in the performance center trying to improve her skill set make her moves a little bit more smooth, fine-tune, and grow and learn, which is what we ask of anybody who is in the professional wrestling world. I'm gonna give the perfect example. We have been very critical of Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Very critical. She's injured people. She went away. She came back. She has been working on improving her moveset as well. And it looks like she went through more of a submission-based training just because of this last match. And she tried a couple of different submissions. And she's been looking a lot cleaner in ring. So for us to be critical of someone and then to praise, especially someone like Nia, who wasn't our favorite because of reasons, you have to see where she has improved. And we are giving that praise right now. Even if Andrew would have been able to be here today, he would have said the same thing. He would have been agreeing with me because he is the one that came to me first and said, did Nia look good to you in that match? Because she looked good to me in that match. So that is two of us in agreement that Nia has improved.
I mean, if not, I'm not mistaken, and this is mainly because it was in Australia and they wanted to put Rhea Ripley in front of her home crowd. But
yeah,
I believe that was Nia's first ever main event.
I believe so. But hey, they both look good. You can tell where Nia has improved. And that is just what Maxine is trying to do as well. She's trying to put her time in the performance center. Other stars in the company have came to her defense and said she is one of the hardest working people in that performance center right now. She is every little bit amount of free time that she has, she is putting in the work in the performance center. She is following Cody's advice of do the work. That's what she is doing right now.
I've seen Becky Lynch and Natalia, even Rhea Ripley and Jake Cargo have all commented on it.
Okay, them. Not only them, Britt Baker came to her defense. That's saying a lot because interpromotional.
Yeah,
that's saying a lot. So she was at a live event. She had a match. Didn't have the best match from what I'm hearing. People didn't like what they saw there.
And it was against Nia Jax.
Yeah. So they booed her on the way out. She didn't let it phase her in the moment. She still did the thank you at the top of the ramp. She did her thing. She stayed professional. And she exited the way she always does. Not only, and okay, some people have said when we pay to go to a show, we pay for the right to cheer and to boo whoever we want. And I agree with that. You have the right to voice how you feel about an on-screen character. But when it gets to the point of, boo, you suck, you should quit, you should go home and not come back, that sort of thing, that's not right. Especially with someone who is trying to improve. Even though she's been on TV, she's been more of a valet, like of accompanying Otis.
Yeah, and she's done her share of wrestling on TV. She had a feud with Sarah Logan. She was in the Rumble. Yeah,
so she's been on TV a good amount. Has she had the most wrestling on TV? No. But she has had matches where she has looked decent. Again, I can tell where she needs work.
Mm.
But I'm not going to go out there and boo her because of what I am hearing. That she's in the performance center nonstop. Not only that, she has not injured a single person. You know?
Like her opponent.
Yeah. So, pretty much all I want to say is give the girl a chance.
Yeah. I think WWE might be partly blamed for that because they did expedite her from NXT to the main roster. She started out as Sophia Cromwell in NXT, and I don't think she did much when she was NXT before she was brought up to be a part of the Maximum Male Models.
Yeah. Yeah, because if she would have done something of substance or anything like that, we would have heard about it from Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I can see that. I can see her being cheered more when she comes out on TV
Yeah.
because of this.
Yeah. I really hope that's what happens because every live crowd is different depending on where you go. So you could be booed one week and the crowd can be toxic as fuck. But then you can go somewhere else and they will cheer you. So, yeah, I just hope she isn't taking it too hard. Crowds can be tough. We all know that. But yeah, just for someone that's working on themselves and trying to better themselves, that is not the type of crowd that you need. It's going to happen. We can't prevent it. But I just hope that she knows not to take it to heart. Keep on growing, keep on learning, and put in the time, and we will see the results. So that's how I hope she's taking it. So don't be dumbasses, especially when you hear that someone is working on themselves and is putting in time. Just know that they are learning. And she's fairly new to wrestling,
Yeah.
to actually wrestling. So yeah, and like you said, it's not her fault. WWE rushed her onto main roster. So yeah, just hope she keeps on learning and growing, and I'm excited to see how she betters herself and proves all these assholes wrong. One day being women's champion, I hope. Because she's got the look. So I just hope she learns, and hell yeah, it's going to happen for her. So don't be idiots. Let her learn and let it happen. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. All right. And that's the news for this week.
All right. So now that we've gone through the news, I'm going to go ahead and let Johnny get his moment in for WWE.
Okay. So, well, we're going to discuss Elimination Chamber here in a bit, but at Elimination Chamber, Cody Rhodes, he did challenge The Rock to a match at WrestleMania, and where Seth Rollins said that he would have his back because of the bloodline interference. Well, The Rock was on SmackDown last night, and The Rock laid down a counter challenge of a tag team match for night one with him and Roman versus Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, with the stipulation that if the bloodline win the match, that Cody's main event with Roman is anything goes, no DQ. Bloodline can do whatever they want. The Rock said he can have a chair at ringside, and then just hit Roman or hit Cody over the head with it. And then the segment ended by The Rock actually acknowledging Roman Reigns, which honestly I don't think he wanted to. To me it seemed like he didn't want to do it, but he was forced to.
Yeah. When The Rock was going, The Rock, you know what he's going to do. We know what time it is.
Yeah.
When he's and you just see Roman's hand stop him.
Mm-hmm.
I almost shit myself. Like, do you know what you are doing?
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine. You are the head of the table. You are the tribal chief. Fine. You just interrupted The Rock.
Because if this was back in the Attitude Era, The Rock would have said something about that.
Oh, hell yes. The Rock would have fucked him up. When I heard The Rock say, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. in the wrestling world, not in real life, not in nothing like that. Don't take me seriously when I say this. In our wrestling bubble, I was like, you're a little bitch, bro. Just acknowledge someone younger than you.
Yeah.
As your tribal chief. Why? You can wipe the floor with him.
You acknowledge somebody that was just a kid when you started wrestling.
Yeah. I really hope this is just like many people are saying and thinking. This is just him infiltrating the bloodline.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
In the end, he's going to turn on Roman.
Yeah. I did not expect that. And here's the thing. So, did you listen to the Fightful review?
No.
So Sean was there, and they had to cut other moments after that bit because it overran by 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was over. It ended after 7:30.
Yeah, it went for I think 37 minutes. So they let it overrun by 10 minutes, which is crazy for the opening. Like, yes,
Yeah.
it was split into parts, but the opening segment of SmackDown to go 37 minutes is insane.
And I don't know what was going on with Fox, but they kept cutting out when The Rock was giving his promo.
Okay, so I have a little bit of
Okay.
clarification
Okay.
on that because Sean did some digging and he found out partly why, but also PW Insider put out a report on the blackouts. And this is what they said. For those of you wondering about why there have been random blackouts on tonight's SmackDown broadcast on Fox, we are told that a fan has a Die Rocky Die sign that the network is censoring. So the reason the screen would go black is because it was on Cam's side.
Yeah.
Right in the fucking middle. So until they took the sign away, it kept on cutting to black.
Oh, okay.
That's why that was happening. But then why are you cutting the audio as well?
Yeah.
And I don't think I have clarification on that. Because even Sean put out the tweet that said censoring the Die Rocky Die sign is one thing, but the crowd kept getting muted too.
Yeah.
So we still don't know why the crowd was being muted.
Crowd plus the promo.
Yeah. So the sign, the explanation of the sign makes sense, but the cutting of the audio doesn't. And it threw me off
Yeah.
because
True.
we missed easily 1/3 of what The Rock had to say.
But at the same time, I was watching that. I was also watching a TikTok live from somebody doing a watch along, and they were wondering what was going on too.
Yeah. And here is what I have to talk to Kevin, because I asked him, because he's on West Coast, so he gets it 2 hours after we do.
Right.
And I asked him later on that night, hey, so I as soon as I saw the blackout happening and all that shit, I messaged him and I told him, hey, when you start watching SmackDown, let me know. And when he wrote me, they were already on the main event. That's when he was able to write me back.
Okay.
So I asked him, did it black out for you like during the Rock segment or anything like that? And he's like, no, it didn't.
Huh.
So I wonder what they did
Yeah.
to fix it,
Yeah.
because they got the whole thing, but we didn't.
Now I need to go find that
Yeah.
footage.
Yeah, because I want to know what they did. And they cover up the sign somehow. Like, can I hear the whole thing? Because we missed key parts, I think.
Because I remember back in the day of like the territories, like here in Dallas, like if there was like a wrestler that was bleeding, or maybe there was nudity and they didn't want to show it on TV, they would pixelate that.
Yeah.
They would pixelate it to where it was just big squares and you couldn't even tell what was going on.
Yeah.
So maybe they did something like that. I don't know.
Maybe. But so here now that you brought that up, here's my train of thought on it. I don't know if they are prepared to do that because they haven't done it in a very long time.
Yeah. In fact, the last time I can remember doing that, I mean, well, as far as the pixelation goes, was back when Ric Flair first went in there in '92 and he had the Real World's Championship.
Mhm.
They pixelated that out because it belonged to WCW.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to show that on TV. But other than that, like when DX used to like moon the camera, they would have like the DX like circles or whatever,
Yeah.
to cover things up.
Yeah. But then again, that is prepared bits.
Yeah, right. True.
So you can't put that on the crowd because you never know what a crowd is going to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was weird. Everybody was freaking out. Denise was tweeting about it. Sean was tweeting about it. Nobody knew what was going on and why we were losing so much of it.
Yeah.
But at least now we have some sort of an explanation as far as the visual side. Don't quite know why the audio side was still being cut.
Because I know like that word is like a taboo word now. Like on social media, though, like on TikTok, you're not allowed to say that word. You're supposed to say like unalived or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. But from what we got of it, it was pretty damn good shit from The Rock.
Yeah, it was.
He is playing up this heel Rock very damn good. And you know what? The line that got me the most, to all you crackhead Karens and MethHead Marys out there, That whole thing cracked me the fuck up. So he put out the fact that where were they again? I forgot all of a sudden.
in Glendale, Arizona.
Yeah. So he threw the fact out there that Glendale, Arizona has the biggest crack and meth problem in the United States. And I'm like, maybe that's just a line they threw out there. Who knows if it's true or not? Sean had someone fact check it.
Uh-huh.
And it is true that Glendale, Arizona has a big crack and meth problem. So The Rock is out there just stating facts and helping us learn some more.
I'm guessing it's because they're close to the Mexican border.
Probably why.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it. The 2/3 of it that we got, I enjoyed.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna have to seek out the full version because that whole blacking out and cutting of the audio was bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just a sign.
Yeah.
We've seen signs forever. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they should have cut it. But
Both The Rock and Cody are going to be on SmackDown last night and the next 2 weeks. This Friday in Dallas, and then the week after in Memphis. By the way,
there's still tickets, bro.
Yeah, by the way, and I know there's still tickets because they're fucking expensive.
Yeah.
We looked; they've gone up on their price, and it's not just American Airlines Center this time. I know AAC. I know they overpriced their tickets, but
yeah,
I think ever since The Rock came back, WWE went up on their ticket price too because the seats whereabouts we always sit when we go to WWE events on the lower level. Now for like what was it, 2 tickets, like over $500?
Yeah, it was like around 540 that they were wanting.
Yeah,
for both tickets.
Okay.
It's something that I know what's going to happen, and they've discussed it many different times because of The Rock coming back. But yeah, you know what you're paying for.
And I had told you this. In December, we spent less money on 6 tickets to AEW, and those were floor seats. Or maybe we spent around the same money for 6 tickets for floor seats for AEW. That 2 lower level seats.
Yeah. I think it was around the same. It might have been a little bit more, maybe like $60 more.
But still.
Yeah. Floor seats, barricade, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah.
But hey, look, it's The Rock. People know what they are paying for. So to those that are able to go, I'm happy for you. We should have just I wish we would have been able to buy tickets when they first went on sale.
Yeah.
But there was just too much going on.
Yeah, they went on sale here. Here they went on sale way back in December, like I think like right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And at that time, you know, we had the holidays. We had just bought the AEW tickets.
Yeah. And then we bought tickets for September as well.
Yeah.
That was around the time.
Yeah, we're gonna go see Green Day in September.
Yeah. So yeah, there was just way too much going on at the time for us to be able to buy tickets.
Yeah.
And then by the time we got around to looking at them again, they were just way too much.
Hopefully they'll be around sometime later in the year. Hopefully before winter's coming.
Yeah. Or we can just set aside a little bit more.
Yeah.
And be able to afford both. But
yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So now that we've gotten our moments in there for
what's your moment?
Well,
was that pretty much it too?
I mean, it was a big moment. It was the biggest moment of the week. But I did have I had a moment set aside, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do my quick moment real quick. Pull up some info here because I got a lot of different stuff pulled up. I really enjoyed Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura. It was probably the best match of the week for me. And the main reason I liked it is because Sami Zayn has been a little bit directionless after his whole involvement with the bloodline. And for him to be desperate, as we have seen him in interviews backstage, to be desperately trying to find a spot for WrestleMania,
Yeah,
this definitely helped him out. This win over Shinsuke.
and it's starting to look as if Gunther is going to get the multi-man ladder match
Yeah,
at Mania.
yeah. It's starting to look that way.
Yeah, because we saw Sammy put his name in there, Shinsuke, Andrade, Chad Gable, and Jey Uso.
Yeah. It's looking like that's the direction they're gonna go. I think Sammy, with this win, it's gonna help him get to that spot. What I really like the ending to this match, where he did a haluva kick to the back of Shinsuke's head, which then set him up for his second haluva kick, and he got the 1-2-3. So yeah, just to see Sammy a little bit frustrated backstage, and then for him to get this win against Shinsuke, hell yeah, I fucking loved it, man. Because again, Sammy was a little directionless, so for him to get this win and possibly headed towards that Gunther match as well, hell yeah, I would be down for that shit. So yeah, man, pretty good shit from WWE this week. I like this whole Sammy thing and him possibly being at Mania, having a match at Mania again, and The Rock stealing the show in an additional 10 minutes. Other areas had to be cut. Braun Breaker had a 7-second match.
Yeah.
Like it was insane. So yeah, I really enjoyed WWE this week. And we're going to go ahead and move on to AEW. We're not really going to do like separate moments. We decided that we're both going to talk about the main focus this week. So, I'm going to let Johnny take the reign real quick and give a little bit of detail and maybe some history on Sting real quick, and I'll be right back.
So this was like a full night story that went on. The show opened with Renee meeting the Young Bucks at the door when they got there, and they said that they were going to look for Sting. They were going to conduct his exit interview, and they had baseball bats with them. And all through the show, they cut through various backstage segments asking if anyone's seen Sting. At one point, they confronted Eddie Kingston and mentioned something about something he said on Collision last week, or they could have fined him for that. Also mentioning that because of the way Eddie dresses, they might start a dress code, which and we'll talk about that in a minute, but they may be leading to a program with Eddie Kingston and a partner, which I'll talk about once Revolution is over. So we'll see about that. Then there was another backstage segment where they were going into the locker room, and because they thought Sting was in there. It was Sting and Darby's locker room, but they walked in. There was no one there, but they did see a lot of bats hanging, a lot of baseball bats that were hanging in the locker room. So we fast forward to the end. the main event segment. Young Bucks come out, and now last week they showed Ric Flair going to talk to the Bucks, saying that Ric Flair was saying that he thought he was going to have more to do with Sting's retirement match than he is. So Ric Flair went to go have a talk with the Young Bucks, and a lot of people were thinking, well, maybe Ric Flair, like always, is going to turn on Sting because he can't help himself. But in this segment, Ric Flair actually was the one who turned on the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks they started beating him down. Then Darby came out and he got a beat down. Well, when Darby was actually in the crowd, surrounded by people in Sting makeup and Sting masks, so you couldn't really tell if the real Sting was actually there. But if you remember the closing years of WCW and when Sting was in TNA, Sting liked to hang out in the Raptors. And this is what Sting did. Sting came down from the Raptors, as I mentioned, the Freddie Owen Hart style, except he didn't die. But he came down, he came down with bats, started beating the Young Bucks. Darby got a coffin drop in there. I think Ric Flair got a couple of shots. So this was this is what you want in a go home angle, especially when it's going to be Sting as the last match on Sunday.
Yeah. And just as a side note, Tony Khan did put out a tweet that they did get permission from the Hart family, kind of like as their blessing, to do the rafter spot.
Yeah.
Because of Owen Hart.
Right.
So, just a classy by AEW and Tony Khan.
Well, yeah, because they work with the Hart family, during when they do the Owen Classic.
Yeah. So they want to stay on good terms, and it was just classy to ask.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily the same type of spot, but it's close enough. So yeah, it makes sense that this is one of the things they would do, just to stay
and that's
on
a
good
spot.
terms.
And unlike with Owen Hart, that's a spot that Sting's been doing for years. So he knows what to do. They even had that, not that Owen didn't, but they, at one point they even had the camera pan somewhere else while Sting disconnected himself from the harness.
Yeah. Yeah. That spot, whenever he came down from the rafters, made me a little kid again.
That's what a lot of people are saying.
That just took me back to the time of me, and this is something I've brought up on the podcast before, of me having to go to my uncle's house because we didn't have the channels to watch WWF and WCW back then. So I would go over to my uncle's house almost every Monday, and I would always take the same VHS tape with me to record Raw and watch it during the week. And you would even see on the recording where at times I would be going back and forth between WWF and WCW during the commercial breaks, just to see where the other company was in their show. Yeah. So I mainly watched WWF, but I would also keep eyes on WCW. And
I hope you still have those tapes somewhere.
I'm pretty sure I can find some of my old tapes where I still have them recorded.
You should digitize those.
Hell yeah. I should. I'm gonna have to look for them and make sure they're like full shows.
Yeah.
And definitely digitize them if I can. But yeah.
It'd be fun to watch. Maybe see some like classic commercials or something.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, just bringing back that nostalgia feeling of when you were a kid, when you watched Sting come down from the rafters for that one whole year where he didn't say nothing at all.
Yeah,
Or just standing there.
and or they would just pan to him in the rafters.
Yeah.
And he would just be there the whole show.
Yeah. And you were just intimidated at the sight.
Yeah, because that was Crow's thing.
Yeah. I love that part, man. I love it. And like I mentioned Sean Ross Sapp earlier, he's gonna be there tomorrow to watch Sting's last match because Sting is the one that got him into wrestling. Like he's what caught his attention.
He said
without Sting, there's no Fightful.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
The first match he remembers watching was Sting versus Great Muta.
Yeah.
Which you saw on the podcast here last year. We did the watch along where Sting did wrestle Great Muta in his last match. Mm-hmm. Great Muta's last match.
Hell yeah. It's like I said earlier when we were talking about Virgil and Noli. It's sad to watch someone retire, but he did so much and he put his body on the line so hard. Even right now in AEW, like how many times did we say, you don't need to be jumping off a balcony.
Yeah.
You don't need to be going through tables, but this is what he loves. This is what he knows. And he knew he was going to retire.
Sting's about to turn 65 years old.
Yeah.
Here's a bit of trivia. Do you know who his first tag team partner was? And when he debuted in 1985?
Bro, I was born in 1984. I didn't go that far back.
I mean, I was born in 79, but I know. So his first partner was Jim Hellwig, who went on to be the Ultimate Warrior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you go back and listen to his Hall of Fame speech in WWE, he talks about how they actually shared an apartment for about a year in Arlington.
Yeah. Yeah. Just remembering everything he has gone through and everything he has done. It's going to be a different kind of sad. And some of the stuff I've seen on Twitter, and this goes to those who think that pro wrestling doesn't have that big of an impact on people or don't understand why it has that big of an impact on people. I've seen grown men on Twitter and even all kinds, like not only men, women, people who grow up watching throughout Sting and his whole career, them saying they are not prepared for that main event. And they are not ready to cry.
Talking about that, Sting has said before he didn't grow up a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
He I forget what wrestler it was, but he got into it because a wrestler saw him in work. He was working in the gym, and this was back when he had the blonde hair. He had the surfer look, and they asked him, how would you like to go into wrestling? So that's when he started training, and he started wrestling.
Yeah. Pro wrestling not affects, but influences people's lives in many different ways. Look, I mean, with what you just said, if that one person didn't go up to Sting and was like, hey, how about pro wrestling? You want to give it a shot? You never know which way your life is going to go.
Right.
Or in what ways what you do in your life is going to influence and affect other people.
Yeah, because we always have those what if moments. I have some what if moments. What if I could be doing a different career right now if things didn't happen the way they did. So
Yeah.
it happens to everyone at least once in their lives.
Yeah. So with Sting's final match being tomorrow, I don't know. I'm exactly like, well, I'm feeling the exact same thing that a whole bunch of people are feeling. Is I don't know how I'm going to react to it because I don't know what's going to happen. Does he win? Does he retire a champion?
And so, like I was saying while you were out, that the Bucks did have a backstage segment with Eddie Kingston,
Mm-hmm.
telling him that they were gonna find him and maybe even start a dress code because of the way he dresses.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that maybe the Young Bucks do win, and after Eddie Kingston's match with Danielson and Kingston shake hands and become a team and go after the Young Bucks.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah.
Because we know they're friends. Like we know, like we follow the storylines and we let it take its course. But yeah, if that's something that they would want to do, yes. And I'm also hearing that even though this is Sting's last match, he's still going to be involved with AEW.
Okay.
So
I thought he would.
yeah,
You
he's
know,
retiring from in-ring competition.
like we always say, a wrestler never really retires.
Yeah. As long as this time it's from in-ring competition.
Yeah, I mean they retire from in ring.
Yeah. Because at almost 65 years old, like you have the respect of your peers.
Yeah.
You have the respect of your fans. And this is the perfect way of going out.
And yeah, because I mean we've been to wrestling conventions before where there's lots of older wrestlers there who are their in ring career is over, but they got this second life, you know, backstage or doing these meet and greets.
Yeah. Just because your in-ring career is over doesn't mean we're going to forget about you. Like, look at Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He was at WrestleCon when we went,
Yeah.
and people were going up to his booth and paying for his meet and greet and for pictures with him just as much as Kenny Omega.
Look at Rob Van Dam.
Yeah. Look at Rob Van Dam. So, yeah, there is a life and a career for him outside of wrestling. And still involved in the wrestling world in a way.
Yeah, Rob Van Dam's one of the exceptions because he came back.
Yeah.
Still wrestling.
Yeah, he came back. But then again, he still looks badass and is in decent shape. So, yeah, I'm very excited for tomorrow. And even though we're not doing a watch along because of work and stuff like that, I'm probably still going to be awake. I'm going to try and be awake to watch it all the way through tomorrow night. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm hoping it's not gonna hit the emotions too much, but I just hope he's able to go out there, have fun in his last match. And it's a match against the Young Bucks and with Darby at your side.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be really fun. And yeah, I just hope he gets a respectful way out. So I can't wait to see what that looks like. So yeah, man, it's gonna be fun, and I can't wait. The whole card It's a really good card for tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So I just can't wait to get through the workday and be able to come home, take a shower, and just sit back and watch.
Yeah. Like we talked about the Danielson Kingston match, the Will Ospreay's having his debut match against Takeshita. There's FTR versus BCC. It was Moxley and Claudio. You got Daniel Garcia versus Christian. Orange Cassidy versus Roderick Strong.
Yeah. I want to see
Tony Storm versus Deonna Purrazzo. That's another one.
Yeah. I'm very interested in the whole card.
Yeah.
Because not that I'm
sure,
not. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm sure there's matches that haven't even been announced yet.
Oh, yeah. Because Collision is going on right now, so I'm pretty sure.
There's that scramble match, too.
Yeah. Which we're still missing the final 2 entries into that.
Well, we got one last night.
Well, yeah, we got one last night.
Yes.
Yeah, we get another one tonight. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun as fuck. So, like I told Johnny, I have a exit video for us from Sting. Well, not from Sting. I wish we had a video from Sting. But
I know he has a cameo, but I've never seen how much they are.
I'm scared to see how much his cameo is because
especially after this last match tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little pricey, so I'm not even going to check it because I don't want to be disappointed and not be able to get it. But there is a video that has been making the rounds the last couple of hours, maybe even late last night, except I wasn't on there to see if it was, but it's fellow peers and people that have been throughout Sting's career this whole time, just wishing him well on his retirement and stuff like that. And I was able to pull the video. So that's how we're going to end with that video. But like always, if you have any questions or comments, wrestlelost@gmail.com, WrestleLost on Facebook, and don't forget to give us a follow here on Twitch and follow our YouTube channel and WrestleLost Pod on TikTok. So until next weekend, hope everybody enjoys Revolution, and we will talk to y'all then.
See you next week.
This is my moment. This is your moment. I want to share it with you.
Okay, I had to stop it because it's not letting me switch the orientation. I can't change it when we're live. What are you talking about? All right. It's going to cut off the top of Sting's face because it's not letting me change the orientation.
Okay.
But at least you would be able to hear what people say.
Yeah.
Which is the most important part. So here we go.
This is my moment. This is your moment. I want to share it with you. And my very last match will be Revolution 2024.
Well, Stinger?
Hey, Stinger, this is Dustin Rhodes, buddy.
It's Adam, a.k.a. the Rated R Superstar, but we already know that.
This is for you, Stinger.
Hey, Stinger, it's Cash. Man, I'm going to try to get through this without getting too emotional.
Wow, I love you so much. That's probably a good way to start.
Anything you think about Sting, any picture you have of him in your head, he's better.
Sting, this is Paul White. Just want to say thank you.
Guys like you paved the way for me. I'll never forget that. 100% of the people within our industry are in it partially because of you. You were a hero to everyone growing up.
You are an example for all of us how we all should act and should be in the wrestling business.
Not many sisters can say they have a superhero for a brother, but I can.
How do I compress a 35-year career and further 30 years of you being my dad into one voicemail?
You were there to support me. You knew everything that was going on in my life.
You are so special to me, Dad, and it has been the coolest thing I've ever experienced, getting to watch you do what you do over these last few years.
Steve, congratulations, man, and someday I want to grow up to be just like you.
Congratulations on finishing this leg of the race so well.
We're going to miss you. There's only one Sting.